is our payment controller. So let's discuss each point. So this is our payment controller code. See first, what is this REST controller? So why this is needed for our this annotation? This annotation mostly used for uh, telling our project for telling Spring Boot to this. In this project, we use a REST API. So which REST API will be used in our project? That is a post mapping. Using this post mapping, we will call our create payment method. So this is our endpoint of the our API. So how can hit our this API? Using request mapping, we will request this endpoint and map this endpoint constant class. So this is our endpoint control endpoint class. In this endpoint class, we will static final variable in v1 payment. We stored v1 slash v1 slash payment. This can automatically wired with this string and assign into our payment controller. Okay. So here we can see that using REST request mapping, we can map all the things which all request will be mapped here using these endpoints. Also, we can map in request mapping. We will map all HTTP requests like get request, post request, put request, delete request, and so on request. All map in a request mapping. But at that only we will use in this we will use only post mapping like this post POST sorry post mapping. So at that time only post mapping request will be mapped. So we need our request mappings. Request give request. Okay, here at-wire configuration and post mapping configuration will be used. At-wire configuration mostly used for at that time when our spring bean our bin is created object and that object will be mapped over your class. So you can use this object whenever and whatever whenever as you want whenever and whatever. So this is our payment service object and a model mapper object. So uh, using constructor mapping, we can map this object and use in our regular code. So using post mapping, uh, HTTP only post request will be map your relate. When our postman hit post request for this v1 point v1 slash payment request, at that time create payment method will be called. In this method, one parameter will be accept using request body. In request body, we will accept one parameter, one object which is named as payment request. In this payment request, we generate a class. So payment request class. So let's say that in payment request class, here we can display define two members, two fields, amount and currency. This is your private constructor, no parameter constructor or default constructor, and this is your parameterized constructor. So this is get method, this is set method, on the same, and this is toString. This is override method. So in this class, over here, in this class, only this data will be present. So in payment controller, okay. Or so let's discuss this. Let's discuss in this payment request what will be happen. So go to the postman. just run this program. So run as Spring Boot application. So our program will be started at 808 local Tomcat started on port 8081. So let's check started or not. So here our post. Let's go to the Postman. Look at here. Our API requests HTTP colon double slash localhost 8081 slash v1 slash payment. This is our endpoint v1 slash payment. So whenever this endpoint hit, this method will be called. Whenever this endpoint hit, post mapping create payment will be method will be called. So it accept request parameter, request payment request object. In that object, we will define the currency and amount field. So let's do that. So in our body, we will define in raw this JSON object will be defined amount 3000 and currency rupees. Okay, let's send this data. Okay, this is our response object. Why should the this data will be turned? Why? Because in our controller will look their response entity payment response, not a request object. So we want return. So let's comment out this and return. Control save. Return. So let's return payment request. Copy. Control V and copy and return type will be this. Control V. Okay. Control set. What will be happen? Payment. Okay. Good. Control save. Continue. Okay. Let's do this again. It will happen. Look at here. Amount and currency will be returned. So because of return type, we will mismatch the data. So again, close the computer. Okay. Control save. Here, here must we can say that here we will create one DTO layer. Because why this DTO layer will be needed? Because this is not DTO layer, but our conversion. But we need to convert our Pojo request. This is our Pojo class. Let's understand this concept. This is our payment request. Okay, this is our payment request. But is this Pojo class? Okay, but this Pojo is convert needed to convert to DTO. So what happened? How to convert? So this question will be remaining. So let's discuss one by one. So this is our Pojo request. This Pojo request convert into payment request DTO object. So let's do that. How to do that? So again go to the controller. So using model mapper class. Using model mapper class, we can convert our one object type to another object type. So this is must to understand. And how to model map? What is model mapper? This is your predefined built-in class. This will let's tap to see this where it is happen model. Okay, this is our predefined class. You don't need to understand this code, but at your configure package payment config dot file app config, here we will return model mapper, new model mapper class object. Okay, but here we will again define two annotations. One annotation is configuration. What why should this annotation will be used in at this place? And bin, this question will be remaining in your mind. Okay, so let's understand this. At the rate configuration is used for our predefined built or built-in Java class to put in your Spring Bean. So what is Spring Bean? IOC container. Let's understand this. Okay. दहा मिनिटाच्या वर नाही ठेवायचं. गाडीचं नाव आहे. चपाती बिन टाकून बस आल्या का लोक so let's understand at the rate configuration and at the rate bin. First of all, at the rate configuration will be you at that place use whenever your predefined class you want as a spring bin in our IOC content. At that time you use at the rate configuration and bin this that with class at to conflict with our class object. At that time at to configuration and bin object when you want as a bin spring bin at that configuration only allowed to uh, place this our class in our as a spring bin, but as a spring bin in our IOC container. But this model mapper, this is our main inbuilt class. So this I want this as a bin spring bin in IOC container. So at the red bin and at the red configuration will be used. So in spring bin there are two defined classes and in our payment controller so we get an object in a payment controller constructor sorry. So using this using this model mapper we can convert our POJO request to DTO request. So why this is needed for why this need to convert POJO to DTO, DTO to entity or entity to DTO or DTO to again POJO. So in our project multiple layer will be happens. So the first layer is will be POJO layer again. This is in a controller class controller in controller we can convert our POJO request to DTO or implement understanding our service layer. Again service layer convert our DTO pass this DTO to DO layer and again DO layer talk to database and database in for that purpose we can convert our DTO to entity. So this conversion happen for this reason. So let's understand what this lines what will be happen. So in this line our payment request DTO of will be created here in DTO class payment request DTO. So using model mapper we can map the our payment request and convert into DTO request. So what will be happen here using model mapper we can bind our class data to our sorry our request data to our class data. So in our request data so let's understand how what will be happen here. So again stop this in we can use the in debug mode. So better understanding will be better understand for better understanding so start from project here the all okay. Let's go to the postman fill data. So look at here in payment request object amount 300 and currency rupees. This data will be uh, display and stored in this object. So let's go to the next line. So look at here. This line log will be printed. So where is it printed? Look at here. Payment request received in controller. Payment request object
दूसरे की
here will
वीडियो
be
का
displayed.
देखते हैं.
In that object,
दूसरे की
amount
वीडियो का
is
देख रहे हैं.
300 rupees and currency is a rupees.
साले छापता है दूसरे की वीडियो देख.
Again, go to the next line. For the next
हाँ?
line, we can
दूसरे की वीडियो देख के
simply
छाप रहे हैं ना.
put
चोमो
click on
साले.
step over.
ये
Like
एक्सप्लेनेशन
you
नहीं दे
can
सकते.
put like you can click F6
वीडियो
button
कॉल पे.
also function button.
फिर क्या कर रहे हैं.
Okay, look at here. In payment request object, 300 and ID, but in request
ओ
detail
भाई.
class, look
बोलना.
at here.
कर क्या रहे हैं.
टाइम पास.
दूसरे की वीडियो भी देख.
थोड़ा आइडिया ले.
Step input
आइडिया क्या लेने का है.
data.
कोई भी एक टॉपिक उठा उसका एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ मैं.
Uh,
दो बना चुका ऑलरेडी तो फिर भी आइडिया नहीं है.
मजा नहीं है तो.
पूरा ट्रांसक्रिप्ट कर रहे हैं क्या. अबे साले. ऐसा रूल.
okay. Look here. What will be processed here? Our payment request data is converted into payment request DTO. In DTO, we will have a amount, a string amount, and a string currency. So we'll be match with this data and pass DTO give me payment request DTO object. This DTO object again pass to the payment service validator process payment method. So in this payment service validator process request, so look at here what will be happen. So need this controls here will be one logic to validate two validations one validator in one validation first validation we can simply say that if our amount will be greater than less than 0, so you cannot insert or you cannot give amount in negative value. So this error will be this logic happens in the validator and process. And again validate rule 2. So this two again validate rule 2 again this data will be uh, this global object will be printed. So again both validation rule are successfully passed. So this is next step. Again this response this response will be stored in response object, which is payment response DTO. Again we can convert DTO object to payment response pojo. So again model mapper will be used. So let's understand. Again model mapper will be used. Paste it into. Okay, this is our object. How to map. Okay, insert if checking null or no. Okay, return map in internal. Okay, payment response object. This payment response object we will receive redirection URL and transaction ID. Why this is needed? Because in our we will pass request DTO. Okay, in request DTO with this amount, but in DTO we will in validate process we return in. Look at here. We will explain briefly. Payment request IMP service IMPL. Okay, here look at here. Okay, validate and process this method will be called. This request accept one parameter object payment request DTO.
मटर चालू है. shit.
So look at here. So this accept one object payment request object payment request due to object. So this is due to your request. So it is a comment out report. Login again log will be mostly log whenever log will be used. Sometime then you can maintain your record like a project record to how to data flow. At that time we can use a log like we can use layers in our simple project system.out.println or but in our industry purpose we cannot use system.out.println because of there are some restrictions like we cannot use with we can use system.object that at that time we cannot specify your additional information like a date reg processor id time location uh, and etc. The most important thing to where that data will be display or error will be happen like this. So that on that position we can use log.info log logger using log srf4j we can use log. This is the annotation. This is the our import statement for logger. Okay, so this is the rules where these rules will be like we define. So let's understand validator rules. Okay, validator rules here. Look, where is this validator rule 1 and validator rule 2. Okay, again let's check here. We can use one annotation like at the rate value and map this validator all rules. It means we can define two rules validator rule 1 validator rule 2 and map get value of that rules in and stored in validator rules. Okay, in a like an array form, but it is a string. Okay, validator in this validator we can just in how to get this values like here will be define our validator service. Okay, this is not for here will be defined. Okay, validator rule 1 and validator rule 2 using this object we can access our in our payment service impl these rules and use it here. Again in that rule we use for each loop again one by one that validator rule 1 be access trigger validator rule. This function will be called and pass the payment request and rule again. And this rule in this log in where in that method we can write a logic like map this request to the request to that particular validator rule class. So this logic will be written here and again we will define toString and this stored in response dot DTO object calling payment response DTO object controller and stored it in payment record DTO and return payment request payment response DTO object. Here will be C payment request DTO object will be here response and this response in this response look at here redirect equal to www.google.com and transaction id equal to tx123. This data will be happen and this data will be printed here. And again this payment response will be uh, returned to our endpoint. Okay, and this is our HTTP status like HTTP some are those local ports used to be like 2000, 5000. There are some specific meanings. So like later we will discuss about that. So your payment request in this is our output www.google.com transaction ID 123 3x 1234. So let's do that. Okay, good. Okay, again here data will be display. Okay, why data will not display? Okay, let's continue. The net response filter. Okay, resume. Okay, at that time data will be displayed here. This is our conclusion.